All right, so stapler. So as some of you were answering that prior question, what do Cydarians have in common? Yes, they got radial symmetry, so they look in as a circular shape on top. They've got tentacles, they produce venom. Are they sessile? Some of them are. That is correct. It's going to be the first time you're going to be introduced to a new term called dimorphism. You may remember some of that from biology. No, not biology. I can't remember if we talked about that with the arthropods or not. Dimorphism also takes place in certain arthropods as well, typically with insects. Okay, more staples. All right. But what dimorphism means is actually a change from one body form to another. That's what we mean by dimorphism. So picture humans, for instance, and mammals. Is that what we call a complete dimorphism or incomplete, would you guess? Mammals and humans. Okay. So think of whether it's a litter of pigs, farmers going through the calving season, or maybe you're looking at a new niece or nephew or younger brother or sister that you're holding. Okay. As they grow older, do they change? Completely, though? You're shaking your head no. That would be correct. So what must be changing with humans and mammals then? From the early stages to the adult stages, what happens? What about their body? Yeah, it's just getting bigger. That is incomplete dimorphism, where yes, it's changing, it still looks the same, it's just getting bigger. Complete dimorphism, which some of these animals go through, means it looks like one body form, then totally changes to a different one. So what would that be as far as arthropods are concerned? If you think about it long enough, you'll say, oh yeah, that's probably true. What about a caterpillar? Changes into a butterfly. Butterfly will change into a what? Caterpillar changes into a butterfly. That's right. Okay? So those are some different types of concepts we're going to be talking about this chapter, but right off the bat, we know these are different types of cells, just like erythrocytes, just like pinocytes, just like leukocytes. All of them different suffixes means you are talking about a distinct type of cell, and this is no different. Cnidocytes, okay, as you can see, contain stinging organelles, okay. I think some people would agree. It's actually kind of, what do I want to say, not appealing, but if you see these swim in the water, it's kind of unique. So when it's talking about some of the strangest creatures, yes, that's true. But they do have a downside as well. Okay? Because some of them you cannot see. Those are called irukandji. We're going to be seeing that here in just a moment. Or known as the box jellyfish. And in this, it comes from cable television where they talk about the different types of structures that these animals have and how to possibly look out for them. And it's really tough because box jellyfish are really, really small. And that's why they can be such a problem on beaches, for instance. Has anyone ever swam in the ocean? Okay. There's probably no reason that you'd think about that, but it did occur to myself when we took our mini vacation to that of Hawaii. Has anyone, if you went there, I think everyone would say, yes, I want to go back. But I don't think you'd want to live there, though. Does anyone want to take a guess? Yes, the surroundings are really beautiful. The weather is really nice. But can you think of a problem on why you might not want to live there? Not so much the animals. No, it's not so much that. Yeah, you might think it could be the tourist, but no, I don't think it's the tourist either. Expensive. Yes, the expenses. Okay, well, why might that be? Why is it expensive to live in Hawaii?
Everyone wants to live in Hawaii.
No, it's not because everyone wants to live there. You might think that. That's a travel destination. Yes. The logistics of getting fuel there, groceries, supplies, okay, that's really tough to do. And on a separate note, maybe that would make more sense, and that is when you have livestock or your pets that you have to take to your local veterinarian, okay? Veterinarians don't make a whole lot of money, but if there was a better living in there for that of veterinarians, they'd have to pass the costs off to the consumer. Okay? So if a veterinarian's gonna charge more, that's fine, but they're probably not gonna be in business for very long because that's what competition is. But just to try to get, like I said, fuel and groceries there, I would be led to believe that gas is probably $5 a gallon, maybe milk the same. Just the cost of living there. And I would agree, maybe the tourists would probably drive you crazy too. But regardless, great place to visit though. And we'll continue just, it says there's 4 classes, but we don't go, the 4th one's called Cubozoa. We don't discuss those known as the Cubozoans. Just the hydrozoans, anthozoans, and then, as you can see, scyphozoans. Okay, we'll try to use this as a teachable moment here. The sound may not be very good, but we'll do our best. So this deals with what we call the box jellyfish. We'll stop there for today. We will continue with these animals tomorrow. And of course, last day of the week tomorrow. Hallelujah, right? Someone say, yep. Yep. Okay? And this is where I say, what do you think it's going to be like 4 years from now? Freedom. Okay, freedom. It's not that bad here, is it?
Not really.
Okay.
Just too much homework that can make you feel too much stress.
Adulthood is open.
Yeah.
But do you think adulthood, you have that freedom, but are you looking forward to that? I mean, sometimes, be careful what you wish for. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. You only have one shot at high school. Well, unless you decide to stick around for much longer, but the point is try to enjoy it while you can, because you only go through it once. You can't go back. You got one shot at this life, make the most of it. And for some people, maybe it's easier. You just gotta play with the cards you're dealt. That's maybe it doesn't put your mind at ease, but I think that is hopefully a way of looking at it that makes it a little more tolerable. Okay. Other remote. Probably right out in plain sight. Let's see. It is right here. Okay.
Talk to you. My partner and I were swimming into the beach. Once we got roughly 500 meters from the shore is when I felt the sting. I kind of stopped and swept at it. We surfaced.
You all right?
No. I told my partner, just to keep an eye on me because I was starting to feel a little off.
So what do you suppose venom actually is? It's a protein, okay? It's a very high complex protein, okay? But the downside of many venoms could or might be what? They're dead. They're going to have an effect on us, and that's what they're talking about right here. Okay, it's going to have an effect probably on your nervous system, maybe affect your heart rate, your respiratory rate. So some of these things are pretty dangerous to that of humans.
We got to shore. I started losing control of my own body.
What's going on? Talk to me.
Sergeant First Class William C. Plagg Jr.
Hey, talk to me. What happened? Where does it hurt?
When I arrived, he started having difficulty breathing.
It's starting to hurt everywhere, Just my
lower
arms
back,
and
your
legs.
chest, your ass.
It was definitely not a dive injury.
I started to panic. I didn't know what was going on with me.
Can you breathe?
It was something that was indicative of dangerous marine life.
Hey, get me the ambulance over here. Talk to me. Where are the cramps at?
Transported him back to the aid station very quickly.
Breathe normally.
Medics have seen this dangerous cluster of symptoms before. It's normally associated with jellyfish encounters thousands of miles away in Australian waters. They call it Irukandji syndrome.
Excruciating, crushing, backbreaking pain.
Opiates at maximum doses are not enough.
Probably 10 to 15 minutes after the initial sting. And that's when the pain really started to hit.
So let's get an IV on. And let's go ahead and do Valium and fentanyl. Let's go ahead and control the symptoms.
Survivors say it's one of the most excruciating experiences a human can endure.
4 liter wide open. Is it any better after the fentanyl and the Valium? Has it backed off a little? No?
I don't remember much. Everything's kind of fuzzy. I remember in incredible amounts of pain.
Captain Jason Smith, I'm the diving medical officer here. The classic presentation is...
Has anyone ever been prescribed painkillers before? Now that fentanyl, I don't know if, was it oxycodone, was it fentanyl? Some really powerful stuff. And notice he said, okay, was given some fentanyl, and I don't even think that's going to take the edge off of this. That's how painful some of these things can be, and I think that's what they're referring to.
back pain and shortly radiates to the abdomen, sometimes can go down into the groin itself, followed by agitation, nausea, vomiting, and a feeling of impending doom.
The debilitating symptoms can linger for months.
Up to a month and a half out, I was still having trouble.
It's the worst case of Irukandji syndrome the unit has ever seen, but it isn't the first.
We've had a string of about 7 over the last 2 years. They're all night stings and present almost the exact same way.
Exactly what's taking down our soldiers, nobody knows for sure. Jellyfish have been around for 600 million years. Of an estimated 30,000 species pulsing through our oceans today, most are venomous. And jellyfish can cause mass mayhem in other ways. December 10th, 1999. Manila, the Philippines. It's Christmas time, and people are in a festive mood. Until a population of 40 million is suddenly plunged into total darkness. The 10-hour-long blackout cripples the capital of Manila and sparks rumors of a military coup or terrorist attack. The next day, the real culprit is revealed. A gigantic swarm of jellyfish, enough to fill 50 large dump trucks, sucked into the power plant's cooling pipes. And the blows keep coming. Around the globe, jellyfish populations are exploding, and they're becoming a very real threat to anyone or anything operating in the water. In 2005, an army of these gelatinous invaders suddenly shuts down a nuclear reactor in Sweden. In 2006, a swarm of jellyfish hits one of the largest aircraft carriers in the world, the USS Ronald Reagan. Clogging its condensers, the jellies partially disabled the ship's operations. Not only are jellyfish taking over our oceans, freshwater species have invaded all but 5 U.S. states. They have even advanced into man-made habitats. This island quarry is infested with thousands of mastiges, a species normally found in the southern Pacific Ocean. Dr. Monty Graham is a marine scientist from the Dauphin Island Sea Lab in Alabama. For him, the mastiges in this man-made quarry are more evidence of what jellyfish are capable of.
So what we have here in this quarry is one of evolution's great success stories. The jellies, they have evolved over 600 million years. They're widely considered some of the first animals to be free swimming in the sea. And they're able to survive and thrive in even the most hostile marine environments.
Jellyfish have been known to travel around the world in ships' ballasts. But how a species from the southern Pacific came to this landlocked Florida quarry remains a mystery. What's even more puzzling is how they've managed to thrive in this habitat. The mastiges have mastered the ultimate challenge. They survive in this man-made environment without the need of an external food source.
These animals live off algae they harvest inside their body. It's this unique relationship that allows these jellyfish to take advantage of this particular environment. They just need to make sure the algae get enough sunlight. And that's why they all swim upside down, resting on the bottom like gardeners, collecting the sunlight.
It's just one of this animal's extreme survival tactics. And where humans and jellyfish interact, the jellyfish are coming out ahead. It's the world's longest animal, with tentacles stretching up to 120 feet. Lion's mane jellyfish normally roam the Arctic, the northern Atlantic, and the northern Pacific Oceans. And when they come in contact with humans, a single specimen can cause massive damage. July 21st, 2010. A 50-pound lion's mane turns the shallow waters of Rye Beach, New Hampshire, into a stinging soup.
The jellyfish was first spotted just off that jetty, and at first, lifeguards thought it was just a log.
150 people suffer the jelly's wrath.
My daughter was screaming. We were trying to figure out what was wrong with her.
She was stung on her chest, her back, her stomach, her face.
Victims are taken to the hospital.
Park staffers will be on the lookout just in case the jelly has any friends, but the beach will be open tomorrow. In Rye, New Hampshire, I'm Mary Salaz, News Center 5.
Jellyfish encounters are on the rise around the world.
10-year-old Rachel Shardlow was tangled in the jellyfish tentacles.
These are the marks the box jellyfish left on Rachel Shardlow's leg.
A jellyfish that brought a painful end to
injuries on her arms and legs.
And now a new threat has arrived in U.S. coastal waters. New Smyrna Beach, Florida. Dozens of surfers greet the morning waves and get a painful surprise.
My whole arm swelled. You can definitely see fluid hanging out of the elbow, you know. And each one of these had blisters on them and raised about that much off the skin.
Extreme pain. It's being shot with a gun. You know, hit with a blowtorch or something.
Their attackers are later identified as box jellyfish.
Beach patrol officers who've worked this area for 25 years told me today they've never seen a box jellyfish in this area before.
Not normally found in Florida, box jellies are the world's most venomous jellyfish. They are suspected to be responsible for countless drowning deaths around the globe. And if what they're already doing in Hawaii is any indication of things to come, we all have reason to be very afraid.
Right now, all of
July 1997. It's in the early morning hours when Angel Yanagihara goes out for a swim that is nearly her last.
It was about 6 a.m. and I was coming in and suddenly I got hit by something all on the neck. And I thought, oh my God, what is this?
Tentacles reach around her arms and legs, unleashing a barrage of stinging cells. Microscopic harpoons blast into her skin faster than a speeding bullet.
It was like thousands of tiny burning needles, almost like an electric shock. It's far worse than any other jelly sting I'd ever felt. And I've experienced an extreme amount of pain.
As the venom seeps into her bloodstream, it attacks the cells that carry oxygen. It wreaks havoc on Angel's cardiovascular system.
I felt very disoriented, anxious. I was exhausted.
For 15 long minutes, Angel struggles to make it back to shore.
I was having trouble breathing and wheezing.
She barely makes it out of the water alive.
And the next thing I knew, I was in an ambulance.
In recent years, the shallows of Waikiki Beach have become a treacherous minefield. October 30th, 2010.
There is danger lurking. More than 200 people were treated for stings in the waters off of Waikiki.
Since the 1980s, The invaders have been coming every month, just days after the full moon, to spawn in the shallow water.
Those stings can be very, very nasty.
Nowhere else in the world is the number of box jelly stings higher. "13 years after her painful attack, Dr. Angel Yanagihara is a biochemist at the University of Hawaii. She has dedicated her career to unlocking the box jelly's venomous secrets.
For over 40 years, people have been trying to figure out what makes up this venom, why it's so potent, and how we could make an antidote.
After years of trial and error, she's closing in on the magic bullet.
Okay, we'll pick up with this tomorrow. There's aspects I gotta get finished for biology because, are you taking 1 or 2 buses today for volleyball? Oh, you're taking 2, okay. So, will sophomores be here then? Or is it junior high and JV that takes off, you know? And that is at what time?
2:35.
Okay. Well, and we'll catch up to you next time.